Hello, this is week 8 of the vlogs. And so this week was kind of talking about and responding to the article that was assigned for that week, which was about using language that is familiar to students, and especially with those who are emerging bilinguals, right? So talking about how can we incorporate not just English into the classroom. And so my first thought to that is music is great for that, right? Music is one of the uh, subjects in school that uses primarily non English terms to describe what we do, right? A lot of what we do is discuss is in Italian, right? Which is better, not perfect, but definitely better to it. And especially to like students. I know looking across other of my colleagues' responses to this for this week, they kind of shared a similar sentiment. But how do we get non-Italian, non-English speaking people to understand music terms, right? And so we that's kind of something that is very interesting to me because so we have in my school we have a German foreign exchange student and a French foreign exchange student, and we've had talks and they're not in the same class, and so it's interesting to see the differences of both of these students in these classes. um the and so we talk a lot about like, well, how did you learn how to read and notate and know music, right? And we talk about especially in teaching music, we teach through song, right? And so we had the German foreign exchange student was talking to us about how in Germany there's songs that we learn to be able to do to differentiate half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, and it's interesting because in America and really across the world we do this, right? Music is a universal language that it transcends language barriers. Like every culture of people in the world has a form of music, right? If even if it's not what we Westerners consider real music, right? And so just kind of like divulging into that text and divulging into that idea of like not creating culturally responding pedagogy is so important for these students, right? And to incorporate them. I know for I talked about in the last vlog at the concert that had just happened at that point. They had actually sang in German, right? The choir that the German foreign exchange student was in, and so during class we had her help us pronounce these words, and it was also awesome too because it was a great teaching moment as well because it's like, well, some ways that we sing words is different than the way that we say them in like out loud, right? In speech pediments, right? So saying like if I were to, speak about, oh, I went to walk my dog today, right? But if we were to sing that, we would employ different vowels. We would employ different consonants to these things. So if I were to go, I walked my dog today, if I were to sing that, I'm not going to sing it right now, but I would go, I walked my dog today, right? And from that, you could probably be like, that didn't sound like right. Why did you say it like that? And it's like, well, the way that you shape your vowels actually affects the pitch of that sound, right? The way that you shape your mouth is conducive to the way that you sound, right? And so that's even a really cool moment to have, especially from someone who's not English, right? To have that from someone who is not English speaking natively, right? Because we were like, all right, well, how do you say like X word in German? And she would pronounce the word, and we're like, okay, that's awesome, that is right, but we're going to sing it differently because we want the best sound, and the way that we would say things traditionally is not the way that we would sing them. And so having that was a really cool, awesome time as well. So that's especially implementing, like how do you have students with foreign languages evolve and adapt into your classroom. And so I think that's that. And then to keep talking about the other thing, right? Or to keep talking about the experiences that I've had in these things, right? That class, especially that class, right, has been really awesome for me because, that class is just, that class is called Nightingales. That is the advanced treble ensemble made from entirely treble voices, higher singing voices, and they are awesome to work with because it's such a unique challenge, especially as a person of a different sex, right, who has a different natural instrument. The way that assigned male at birth and assigned female at birth people sing is different because the way that their vocal folds are made are different, and so it's wonderful to see um, them grow, especially from someone who doesn't have their own natural instrument. And it's also cool because we hire female vocal coaches to come in and work with them on a weekly basis because that's their natural instrument. They need to go there, they need to come in and help. So yeah, that's been this week. Catch you next time. Woo!